Welcome back to Cruise1st TV, your gateway to breathtaking destinations and unbeatable deals. I'm Derek, and with me is the ever fabulous Jo Grimwood.
Hello.
Together over the next half an hour, we'll guide you through the wonders of holidaying with Princess Cruises, a leader in global travel offering unforgettable experiences and world-class service at sea.
Yes, and coming up we have something special for all you adventurers out there. Imagine exploring vibrant cultures, stunning landscapes and unique experiences. Well, with our 3 deals in this show, we'll whisk you away to some of the most sought-after corners of the globe on board Discovery Princess, one of the latest and most exciting ships in the Princess fleet. Now later we'll give you the chance to immerse yourself in the rich heritage and modern marvels of Southeast Asia and Japan. And then for those of you who yearn for rugged beauty, our Alaska to Asia voyage offers an unparalleled adventure, complete with a mesmerizing glacier discovery.
But first, we are setting sail on an epic 24-night journey through Asia and Australia, discovering a tapestry of exotic locales and mesmerising sights. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds like a word soup. I'm loving it. It's for November next year, where we'll fly you to incredible Singapore, where your holiday begins with a 2-night hotel stay. And just a reminder that when we include hotel stays in our trips, we always make sure it's a nice central location, so you're right in the heart of the action as well. And actually, in terms of Singapore, that tends to be around about the Orchard Road district, which is where all the big designer names are as well.
I love it.
Sorry to tempt you, but it is Singapore. It's got to be done, really. But as you can see, there's 1,001 other things that you can be doing in Singapore as well, like seeing the wallowing hippos.
Well, it's one of the best zoos in the world, Singapore Zoo. So you've got to see that. You've got to see the orchid garden, the markets as well. Bargaining, negotiating is part of the parcel in Singapore. Then it's time for us to board the beautiful Discovery Princess. For 18 nights, this ship is incredible. She's pioneering, really. This is a member of the fleet that's been long in development. So built as a smart ship from the ground up, you have lots of elements, to the vessel that can make your life easy whilst you're on board, including the medallion program, which is just a little kind of coin-sized medallion that you carry around with you. Makes it easy to open your stateroom, to order a glass of champagne or a beer up on deck. You can even order things from the store, the general store, to be brought to you. You can secure your dining time. I mean, there's just so much you can do, with the smart and dynamic layout of this vessel. I think it's brilliant. So the thing is, if you maybe you haven't cruised for a while, cruising now is easier than ever thanks to these digital editions. Now, if you're much more of a traditional person, you're like, you know what, I don't want to use the app. They still do have a daily program available that they print out, like a little daily newspaper as well, with all your activities. Whatever your favourite way to enjoy a cruise is, there's lots of things on offer.
Do you know, that's the only time, when I'm on a cruise, is the only time I do any bedtime reading. Yeah. Like you go back to your cabin at the end of the day and there is what's happening tomorrow. So tomorrow's cocktail of the day, tomorrow's activities in the spa, special offers, shopping promotions, whatever it might be, and things that you might think, okay, well, let's get those planned into the day. Of course, you can look at those on your phone via the app as well. The app also helps you to, if you're having one of those evenings where you think, oh, I'm not quite sure what I fancy tonight, and you scroll through the restaurants on the app, you can see how busy or not the restaurants are at that moment in time, which I think is really, really good. So if you fancy, do you know what, just spur of the moment, let's go for a steak tonight, let's go speciality tonight, and let's go for a steak. Let's see what's going on in the restaurant right now. You can know whether you can get a table there without queuing, which I think is really lovely. And that's just one of the kind of signatures of Princess as well. The service is absolutely incredible. Very, very nice, luxurious feel, very friendly faces all around the ship as well, to make your holiday really as easy as it can possibly be. And listen, this is going to be your home for the next 18 incredible nights. And we are sailing first out of lovely Singapore
Yes, and a day at sea is going to see us into Ho Chi Minh City, which is a really bustling metropolis. And of course, this is once known as Saigon. You have the amazing Cu Chi tunnels, which burrow under the city. You can learn all about the war, of course. To maybe take a Mekong Delta tour in the jungle. Then it's Nha Trang, and Nha Trang also beautiful, one of Vietnam's most popular seaside resorts. You've got those white sandy beaches, those azure waters, and of course the palm trees swaying in the breeze. But lots of culture there too, of course. Then it's Lombok. Lombok is a beautiful island off the coast of Bali with crystalline waters, and it is motor vehicle free, lots of natural beauty, reminiscent of Bali many years ago, and they're known for the handicrafts there. Then we're onto Australia, the top end, Darwin, the Northern Territories, which has got that lovely subtropical climate, and you have Kakadu National Park there. You might see the Aussie Big Five, the kangaroo, koala, platypus, echidna or wombat. There we go. We're on to the reef next. First stop is Yorkeys Knob, Cairns, and this will give you sort of a gateway to the three most important natural wonders in Oz, the Great Barrier Reef, the Marlin Coast and the Daintree National Park. Then it's Airlie Beach for the Whitsunday Archipelago. These 74 islands feature pristine fringing reefs with calm lagoon-like waters, and my recommendation is to take a float plane or a helicopter tour to see it from aerial view. Then we disembark in Sydney, and you have 2 fabulous nights in Sydney, Australia. Now do speak to the team if you would like to extend your stay down under and maybe go further afield as well. Sydney itself is one of the most dynamically beautiful cities, not just in Australia, but in the entire world. There's so much on offer, from theme parks, as you see here, Luna Park, which is right on the seafront.
It's like a vintage theme park as well, isn't it,
It's very
Luna
much
Park?
like a Coney Island or a Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's right on the ocean. And then you have, but in a very fun way, right? And you've got, you also have like the Olympic-sized swimming pool right in the harbour. Imagine like just taking a dip and looking at the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which, by the way, you can climb. There's Darling Harbour, gorgeous at night, great dining. Sydney is a real wonder. Then we're flying you back to the UK. Now, of course, your flights are included, your stays are included in Singapore and Sydney, and you get to venture through fabulous Vietnam, Indonesia, and some of the top wanted and visited ports, shall we say, in Australia. Incredible.
This is such a brilliant holiday, and I think it, you know, with it being a bookend with the stays in Singapore and Sydney, you've got real scope here. Actually, as Joe was talking us through the itinerary there, I was just thinking actually maybe there's a place you want to go to before you go to Singapore. We can make that happen as well, not a problem whatsoever. As Joe says, if you want more than 2 nights in Singapore, maybe you've never been before, fine, we can make that happen and time it with the cruise. And the same in Sydney at the very, very end. So if you're thinking, actually, yes, I'd love to see Sydney, but I'd like to be there for a couple more nights, and then I'd like to see Perth or Brisbane or Adelaide or somewhere else around that great country. I mean, it's a long way away, so you may as well make the most of it while you are there. But as the package is, it is incredible. So it's November next year, which is always a good time to go away, as we all know. 24 amazing nights, the flight to Singapore included, of course, 2 nights in a hotel there, 18 nights of Discovery Princess cruising. You are going to love it. Cruising to Ho Chi Minh City and Nha Trang in Vietnam, onto Lombok in Indonesia, and then around the top of Australia. Great ports for the Barrier Reef, ending the cruise in Sydney, coming off the cruise and having 2 nights in a hotel there, and then the flights back to the UK. Sounds expensive, doesn't it? It sounds like, oh, hang on a minute, here comes £8,000 each. Look. And the greatest thing about this price tag is that you can lock it in today for just £199 each. Your deposit today, less than £200 each, to make that price a reality. And bear in mind, we're talking November in 2025. That's a long way away, but it's a good time to plan it and to lock in the price tag now, because who knows what might happen between now and then. But if you've booked it, that's your price all sorted and locked in. Here's the details if you want to upgrade on the cruise on Discovery Princess. She's got a big programme of various cruises around Australia for 2025 and 2026 as well, which is brilliant, very, very exciting. So there's lots of other ways we can hook you up with Discovery Princess down in Australia as well. Just talk to the team about the other possibilities. And of course, you can add to this Princess Plus very, very easily to make this all-inclusive with drinks, Wi-Fi, tips, and so much more, which we'll go into more detail on later on in the show. £50 per person per day. We've talked a lot about Princess Plus and the inclusions and why pretty much everyone goes for it as well. Got a lovely solo price for you as well. You know, usually you'd expect, wouldn't you, from a solo price tag for a package like this, double or more, and it certainly isn't. So it's very, very tempting solo price on this one. 0800 953 4700 to talk free to our team right now. And remember, we are here to talk to 7 days a week, which is lovely. Right, let's take another then, shall we?
Yes, let's venture off to Southeast Asia this time and Japan on a luxury discovery for 18 nights. We're leaving on the 11th of October next year, flying you to Tokyo for a 2-night pre-cruise stay. This is the big hot spot of travel, I would say, at the moment. Japan, everyone's talking about it, everyone's buzzing about it since, of course, travel reopened. You know, it's been one of the most bustling, exciting destinations that is on everybody's list, and it's easy to see why when you get to visit Japan. Now, it's like a completely different world to what we're used to when it comes to travel. I always say when you go over to Japan, because it's the future. It's the city of the future, Tokyo. You've got lots of incredible areas to visit that will, you know, allow you to enjoy the technology, but at the same time, the traditional shrines there are incredible. And then you've got to ride the bullet train, of course. It's time for us to board our fantastic ship for our amazing voyage. And of course, the Discovery Princess offers you the newest, most innovative and exciting things to explore on board Princess for 14 nights. And she's part of a brand new class of Princess ship as well, launched in 2022. I think that for our viewers, for our cruisers that have enjoyed Princess over the years, you're going to love that. Of course, the character and beauty of Princess is always preserved across the fleet, even when they're adding new developments in, edging these new developments in, which make your life easier. I mean, everything's there and built to make your cruise easier for you to enjoy and for you to be able to explore everything on board at just the, literally the click of a finger, because you'll be able to do things from an app, with your medallion program as well. Let's talk food, because Princess are award-winning when it comes to cuisine. I mean,
incredible.
From their casual dining, and of course you've got everything you could imagine up in the marketplace, and that's casual dining buffet. Every cuisine, Mexican, Chinese, Japanese food, classic comfort food, your all-American, it's all up there at any time of the day. I mean, they really do go to town. But when it comes to fine dining, of course, your options are also endless. And you have got, for special occasions, there's the Chef's Table Luminaire, which is amazing. Like if you've got a special anniversary or something coming up, I'd highly recommend it.
Very exclusive as well, actually.
Yeah, very exclusive.
Very exclusive. Only very, very small numbers of people ever get to experience that as well. And it would be a really, really nice treat. Whether you're celebrating, as Joe says, it might be a birthday or an anniversary, or you just want to make it a nice focal point in your cruise, actually. Let's have a really, really special night. You've got loads of different choices of an evening as well. Lovely bars and lounges. You do. From, dancing to the wee small hours to just enjoying some gentle jazz as well, which I think is really, really nice. With Princess, it's kind of a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of situation.
I love that.
They only ever improve on what they've done for many, many years. Fabulous 2-week cruise, and remember, we're cruising out of the port for Tokyo.
Yes, and we're heading into Shimizu for Mount Fuji. Now, this is going to be the highlight of many people's voyage, I think. You can actually take a tour, speak to your Princess Discovery team on board to get that tour booked in. They've got loads of suggestions for you to make most of your time. Then it's Osaka. And again, this is known as really the cultural capital of Japan. You definitely want to head to the Osaka Castle for amazing views over one of the most iconic viewpoints in Japan. And then there's the beautiful Inari Shrine as well. Kochi is up next. also known for its incredible castle. And you've got the Makino Botanical Garden, which has beautifully manicured traditional Japanese gardens. Again, a lot of us go to Japan to see this, real perfection. Kagoshima is next on the list in Kyushu Island, and it's the capital of the Kagoshima Prefecture. And it's known for its active volcano, actually, Sakajima. So if you want to head up there, again, it's all right. The tours will make sure it's all safe for you. Taipei is next, and this is in Taiwan, actually. So world leader, really, when it comes to production of many things, from computer chips to bicycles and whatnot. But if you want to see traditional Taiwan, there's lots of lovely things to enjoy. We have an overnight in Hong Kong, and the one place on the itinerary you absolutely do need that extra time in. So this is brilliant. And I think seeing Hong Kong at night, Kowloon Bay, Star Ferry, heading up to Victoria Peak, heading to the night markets. It's going to be really exciting. This is such a thriving city. Then we're on to Nha Trang in Vietnam. This is going to allow us to see sort of the best, really, of a seaside port in Japan. Some of the tours here that we can enjoy include the countryside drive with a rural village and farmers market visit. And again, speak to your team about booking that. Ho Chi Minh is up next on the list, and gateway to other places, jumping off point to other places in the area as well. They have the lovely National Museum there to visit, the Jade Emperor Pagoda, and Chinatown is a must. Then we're into Singapore, where we'll disembark. Your flights are included back to the UK, but if you want to stay longer, again, Cruise1st team is always there to make the most exciting trip possible for you. So do speak to us if you want to extend your stay. But what a lovely itinerary.
Oh, amazing. Just absolutely amazing. The more you hear about Japan, and remember, it's coming up more in conversation year after year after year in terms of travel, particularly cruise travel as well, because Japan and cruise travel are kind of ideal bedfellows, really, because traveling across Japan, yes, very, very easy. There's wonderful trains and, getting around is fairly simple, but it's a lot of arranging and it takes up a lot of time as well. A cruise is a great way of seeing various parts of Japan all in one holiday, which is incredible. And nice time of year to go and discover Japan as well. You're going late in the year, which is lovely. Book it right now for a low deposit of just £199 each. And the price I'm going to give you is the flight from the UK out to Tokyo, 2 nights in a hotel there, and then 2 weeks of cruising on Discovery Princess. And you will be discovering various ports in Japan, including that magical port for Mount Fuji. And then you're moving on to Taipei in Taiwan. You've got the overnight in Hong Kong and more exciting ports in Vietnam before you end the cruise in Singapore for the flight back to the UK. So deposits today of £199 each. I tell you what, there has never been a better time to plan in something like this. I mean, that price just doesn't... It's funny, isn't it? I've been doing this for so long, pointing at prices on a TV screen, but I still point at a price like that now, thinking of where we are and how much the price of everything has, changed, escalated, blah, 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 blah. And yet we're still looking at a price tag like this for a massive offering here with what is essentially a 5-star cruise line, which is incredible. Honestly, I am blown away constantly. For you, it must be so difficult because you've got to try and make some choices here as well. Let's have a look at upgrades as well. So if you want to go up to balcony or your fabulous suite, I mean, look at the suite price on that. Wow. Bear in mind, this is a 14-night cruise on this one, isn't it? That's incredible. That is incredible. I would definitely say to you, if you can go to the suite, because it's an altogether sort of different experience, so luxurious while you're on board. And if you want to upgrade to Princess Plus, of course, as well, this is one of the best ways of going all-inclusive there is in the cruise business. Nice round number, £50 per person per day. You're getting $140 worth of value for that as well. So it's drinks up to $15, it's Wi-Fi, it's gratuities, it's juice bar, it's premium desserts, fitness classes, express boarding, some casual dining thrown in, Ocean Now delivery, complimentary room service. so well worth the price tag as well. And you can talk more to the team about that when you book on 0800 953 4700. That's such a wonderful offer, and really to get that in the diary right now for just a deposit of £199 each is absolutely Billy bonkers. Right, let's go Alaska to Asia right now. Wow, okay. You don't really put those two places together, but watch this, because we are going to, with a glacier discovery as well. This is 20 nights for the 26th of September next year. So this flies you first out to Seattle on the west coast of the States, and we have a 2-night hotel stay there, which is brilliant. Oh my word, what a lovely place. I'd be straight up to, is it the Space Needle in Seattle?
Yes, and it's
incredible. Gives you the best view.
Yes, so I've been lucky enough to dine up there. It rotates, and you get spectacular views over Seattle. Seattle's an amazing city. It's famous for Starbucks. You can go to the first ever Starbucks.
First ever one.
Or overall coffee culture. Grunge music, of course. The Seahawks, the Space Needle, Pike Place Market. Lots of technology, including Amazon, Boeing, and Microsoft, all originated there. But aside from that, it's just such a hustling, bustling, vibrant, but low-key city. You're going to love it. Off the kind of a little bit more of one we don't visit as much, which is great. Then it's time to board the awesome Discovery Princess for 15 nights. And this, what an itinerary. My goodness.
Oh, wait until you see this.
Oh, you're going to love it.
You are going to love life on board Discovery Princess as well. And we've talked a lot about the sit down and stop kind of stuff, but there's very much get up and go kind of stuff happening as well. They do wonderful top deck parties. Some of those are under the sun and some of them are under the stars. So some are daytime and some are nighttime as well. So if you like a bit of a lively affair, then it's absolutely there for you. Conversely, if you want the complete opposite of that and you want a little haven for just you and the other half, it is absolutely there for you as well. So you can just go off to little bolt holes around the ship and just escape the world.
Yes, and Princess is great for that.
Yeah.
Lots of little reading nooks around the ship, chilling, having a nice coffee. If you love to be part of the evening events, then they've got you covered, because the Princess Live Cafe has lots of evening and daytime activities. Think your quiz and bingo, your comedy, loads more in the Princess Theatre and around the ship. They'll also have things like the Love and Marriage game show, the Quest, which I'll just leave it for you to discover these. They're so much fun. It's kind of like an adult scavenger hunt.
Remember, it's just a game.
It's just a game. People do take these games seriously.
Play nicely now.
You know what? That's great. If that's what you enjoy, you've got plenty of that on board. There's loads of competitive games you can take part in, from shuffleboard to table tennis. So don't you worry. You can do your walk a mile around the ship every day. So to get those steps in too, I think they give you a little bit of a certificate afterwards.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
That's good. Clocking up some extra steps on my app clocks up some extra calories as well, and you'll need those extra calories.
You will.
So you can indulge in dessert or that afternoon coffee with a nice cake or
your
something.
10 desserts or whatever it is. Or maybe you're going to do the Princess Plus, the
with
extra.
your premium desserts.
Yeah, the premium desserts.
They are lovely.
Yes. So easy check-in because everything's digital, like we've been mentioning, and it's bigger, better, and bolder. It's that still the essence of fabulousness and classic cruising that Princess always gives, but with so many additions. So we're cruising out of Seattle. First port we're going to be heading into in the Great White North is Ketchikan. Now you can take a float plane here. They're famous for it, through the misty fjords. Maybe explore the Totem Park, see the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. It's really fun, I promise. We'll go to Ketchikan. Then it's Juneau, capital of Alaska. Head up to Mount Roberts Tramway for a wonderful view over Juneau. Or you might want to do a whale watching tour, the Musha Dogs, or head to Mendenhall Glacier. There's whale watching too. Speak to your team because they can pack a lot of tours in for you. Then it's scenic cruising through Hubbard Glacier, which is a natural wonder. This is a natural, state park with 5,000 kilometres of open space, glaciers, fjords, you name it. You might be lucky enough to see the glaciers carving. Anchorage is up next on the list. We don't see this so often.
No.
But it's lovely to actually get to visit. I always call this true Alaska. Like, this is the far removed, where lots of people enjoy the natural beauty, and you will too. Then we are into fabulous Tokyo. After enjoying some time at sea, we're disembarking and we're having 2 nights in a hotel in Tokyo. I mean, what a brilliant idea. Cruising through Alaska, ending up in one of the most dynamic capital cities on earth, Tokyo, Japan. And believe me, there is plenty to see in Tokyo. It mixes ultra modern with traditional. That's the beauty of Tokyo. You've got to go to the Shibuya crossing. You might see 3,000 or 4,000 people crossing at a time. You're going to get some spectacular photos of that for sure.
That's like a party every 5 minutes, isn't it?
And then you see people are so focused crossing the street there as well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously you have to be, but particularly there. And then we're flying you back to the UK after this epic adventure, and a really unusual adventure too, starting off in fabulous Seattle, cruising through the top ports in Alaska, crossing that international date line and finishing up in Tokyo. Brilliant.
At the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo, does the crossing make a noise? Oh, it does make a noise. That's all right. Like it does. I was just asking Rich behind camera too right now, because he spends half his life in Japan. In fact, we struggle to keep him here. He's always in Japan. But yeah, it does make a noise as well. I just wonder whether you just went with the flow generally. Anyway, things you wonder while you're halfway through a show. September in 2025. Again, advanced booking right now, low deposits to get the deal that we got locked in for you at just £199 each, which is incredible. That's your deposit today. And that includes the flight from the UK to Seattle. Then we've got 2 nights in a hotel there. And then that wondrous 15 nights of cruising to Alaska and Japan. It's funny, isn't it? You really don't put those two places together, but they work so well together. You end the cruise with a 2-night stay in a Tokyo hotel before the flight back to the UK. Gosh, really? I know people who have spent far more than this spending time in Japan. No names, Richard. Look at that. And for that, you get your flight out to Seattle, your little mini break in Seattle, an Alaska cruise, cruising over to Japan and having a couple of nights there. This is where you're going wrong, you see, Rich. $3,399 per person, which is brilliant, or £199 each deposit today. Here's your upgrade prices as well. Remember, your cruise is a scenic one if you think about it as well. You have got the few days at sea between Alaska and Japan. As you would imagine, they're not exactly next door to each other. But while you're in the Alaskan bit of this cruise, you'll definitely want to see what's going on. Now, that might be for you, standing up on top deck with your eyes on stalks, with binoculars in your hand. I would definitely say this would be a binocular-worthy cruise, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. You'll have guides up in Alaska as well that will, sort of talk you through significant things that are happening where you're going. Remember, you've got a day of scenic cruising through Alaska on that. Everything to love about that offer, right? Listen to me, I'm sold, I'm done, completely and utterly. It's really, really good. If you want to make this all inclusive, of course, Princess Plus is the way to go. $140 worth of value every single day you can get for just £50 per person per day, which is brilliant. So that's your plus drinks package, drinks up to $15 each, unlimited Wi-Fi for a device, gratuities, unlimited juice bar, and a whole list of other perks like express boarding, Ocean Now delivery, which is where you order things to be delivered to you on the ship wherever you are, room service included right the way through with Princess Plus as well, and a couple of casual dining meals included, and those yummy premium desserts that we talked about before as well. You want to know more about that? Again, talk to the team. More details by calling us on 0800 953 4700. I am very, very impressed by that offer. I have to say big thank you to Laura, who looks after putting together our Princess offers, because that is a cracker. Lots of people want to see Discovery Princess. She's so new. Not many people have sailed on her at all so far, because she only launched back in 2022. And she's doing a vast programme actually in the far-flung corners of the world, down in Australia as well, during 25 and into 2026 as well. So don't think that when you're talking about cruising, you just book now for like the next 6 months. You could be booking for the next 2.5 years your cruises right now. You can,
and that's the wonderful thing, because every time you look at travel, I don't know about you, but every time I look at flights online and hotels, everything is jumping up in price before our very eyes. So if we lock it in now at these current prices in 2023 for 2025 or 2026,
I know.
You are streets ahead, and you've got holidays to look forward to with a simple deposit. And speak to our team about that.
Absolutely, and stay right where you are, because we're back with more in just a couple of minutes.
See you soon.